Coming up on MCTV this week, learn more about the Stockdale fire that caused an evacuation of the building and get a sneak peek of the newest addition to Greek Life housing. This week starts now. Hello and welcome to MCTV This Week. For David Edge, I'm Juliana Graff. The Scottsboro area is closed after a fire broke out. Curtis Galloway has the story.
Saturday afternoon, a small grease fire broke out in the CAF, destroying 2 fryers and the grill, as well as scorching much of the surrounding walls and surfaces. The fire broke out in the Scotts Grill section of the CAF, and Aramark employees in the Monmouth Fire Department were able to easily contain it. Eyewitnesses, who wished to remain anonymous, said that no one tried to throw water on the fire and that no one was to blame for it. Since the CAF was closed for cleanup after the incident, Monmouth College had 20 pizzas each delivered to the resident halls by Monmouth College security.
There has been no word yet on when this area of the CAF will be reopened.
The women of Beta Phi are happy to say they've opened their new house. Jack Godlewski takes us inside for a look.
Beta Phi, known most commonly as PiPhi, have begun moving 15 members into their new home on the corner of Euclid and 9th, right behind the fraternity complex. The sorority had a house on the same location just 2 years ago. The house also contains multiple lounge areas, a state-of-the-art kitchen, and even an arts and crafts room in the basement.
It's just been really great knowing that I can walk out of my bedroom and there's a table full of PiPhis there ready to help and study, and especially now that scheduling is starting to happen for next semester, just having all the support there and really just having all my sisters around me has been a great time.
The women's fraternity was founded on the Monmouth campus in 1867 and have been around since then. For MCTV, I'm Jack Godlewski.
The house is officially going to open for a dedication on April 28th.
Last week, the happiest Greeks on earth came together to celebrate Greek life on campus. Lily Guillen shows us Greek Week.
This year's Disney-themed week included the annual blood drive, Penny Wars, Can Castle competition, and Disney Scene It. Then continued on Wednesday with the Greek Week show. Members of fraternities and sororities were dressed as Disney characters, with some of them portraying those characters on stage.
Greek Week is really a time to unite all of the Greeks and all of the sororities and fraternities together versus all of us doing our own separate things. So I think the Greek Week show is definitely a good time for people who aren't in a sorority or fraternity to come to the show and just kind of see what it's all about and just see all the faces of people in Greek life. But as far as all the events go, I guess it's kind of hard to understand from the outside looking in. But it's definitely a time for all the Greeks, fraternities and sororities, all of us to come together and just hang out and get to know each other better.
Like most other talent showcases, the show included musical performances, dances, and singing. But it also showed some more unique acts, such as artists exhibiting their painting skills, skits revolving around Disney movies, and blind drawings. The performances ranged from including large groups of people to very small ones. The show ended with Communication Studies professor Chris Goebel, senior David Edge, and senior Brittany Shoemaker getting pied in the face. The winner of the banner contest was Beta Phi, and the winners for Best Skit in the show were Zeta Beta Tau and Beta Phi.
It's a tradition. It's a Monmouth tradition. We have over 5,300 Monmouth alumni who are part of fraternities and sororities, and so it honors their past, and it also helps recognize our place on campus and all the good that we do in the community and on campus as well. Because if you look at most campus-wide leadership roles, a lot of Greeks are leading and they're serving on executive boards for those main positions.
At the banquet on Friday, the overall winners of Greek Week were announced, and they were Kappa Kappa Gamma and Phi Delta Theta. For MCTV, I'm Lily Guillen.
Almost $1,500 was raised during Greek Week, which will go to St. Jude's Research Hospital and Riley Thomas, who is currently receiving treatment there.
Last night, Monmouth Forensics hosted their spring showcase. The showcase was held in the Wells Theater at 7 p.m., The team presented public address and oral interpretation from Shoshana McLaren's, Emily Sheets, Sarah Hunt, Michael Horath, and Cole Downey, along with a limited preparation speech from
Forensics
Anthony
to
Adams.
me offers people an opportunity to have a voice and go represent people who perhaps don't get to be represented often. A lot of speeches are taking platforms for misrepresented groups in society and just highlighting like issues that we are facing. So for the college to have students out, going to other campuses representing our school in such a positive way really puts a good name to Monmouth College.
The forensics team left this afternoon for their national championship tournament in Muncie, Indiana.
Last week, students and faculties across disciplines came together to have a conversation about the environment. Graduating from a liberal arts college with interest in environmental studies, English, and French, Brianna Draxler eventually merged her interest through becoming an environmentalist journalist. Draxler, sister of English professor Bridget Draxler, talked about her experience in Norway and how their different economies are impacted by and adapting to climate change. Some of the unexpected and creative strategies have come from big business owners and environmentalists working together. Draxler said that each student can do something about the environment.
Making the choices to participate in your community in ways that make it more sustainable, choosing what you eat and investing in relationships with farmers perhaps, or just being involved and being active in these local realms.
For more information about the Environmental Studies Department, go to Monmouth College and search Environmental Studies.
Taking a look at some events on campus this week. Tonight at 7:30 in room 278 of the CSB, international student Mark Guyeth will be concluding the 4 weeks War Talk series by presenting stories and experiences of conflict and instability in Syria. Friday at 6 in the Mellinger Commons of CSB, the Counseling Services of Monmouth College is hosting a Take Back the Night rally as part of the Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Friday at 7 in Doll Chapel, ASAP is hosting the comedian Dulce Sloan.
Coming up after the break, Fighting Scots softball hosts a nationally ranked opponent. On Tuesday, the women's softball team faced nationally ranked opponent, Illinois Wesleyan. The Scots started fast with great pitching, courtesy of Kayla Kurtz. In the top of the first, she would drop the first 3 Wesleyan batters. Things got started off the bat of Kirsten Ozga, who hit this triple in the bottom of the third. Unfortunately, Ozga would be thrown out at home. Later that same inning, Kurtz was not only doing it from the mound, but she drove in the first run of the game with this RBI double that scored catcher Charlotte Park. Then in the second, the Monmouth infield would come up big, helping Kurtz get out of the jam with runners on second and third to hold on to their 1-run lead. All that would change in the second as the Titans showed why they are a nationally ranked school. This sliding grab in center field to rob the Scots of a base hit. Wesleyan scored in the third when Maggie Graham hit a powerful ball to right field, driving in a run. Wesleyan then took advantage of their error by the Monmouth infielder to load the bases in the top of the fifth. The Titans never looked back as they would score 3 runs in that inning and go on to win by a final of 9-1. The Scots dropped the second game by a final of 10-0. This past Saturday, the women's softball team faced conference opponent Lawrence University. In Game 2 of the doubleheader, the Scots started off slow. Katie Schumacher started off the scoring for Lawrence in the top of the second inning when she blasted a home run into right center field to put the Vikings up 1-0. In the bottom of the fourth, pitcher Kaylee Kurtz broke through with her first collegiate home run, This scored Jonna Schultz and Katie Flaherty. This put the Scots up 4-1. The Scots continued to pour it on when Kirsty Barton, Michaela Guthrie, and Jonna Schultz all had RBIs to give Monmouth a 7-1 lead. In the top of the fifth, Lawrence answered with 3 RBIs, but never retook the lead. Morgan Throop for the Scots would smack a triple to right field in the bottom of the sixth, scoring Maggie Hayes and Carolyn Sherpy. The Scots would take this one by a final of 11-4.
I hit my first collegiate home run today, so that was pretty cool. So ultimately, I feel pretty good. I could have pitched a little better, but we win some, lose some. We are not the underdogs everyone thought we were come the beginning of the season. We weren't ranked real well in the preseason polls, and we took that and ran with it, and now we're not it anymore. We have a target on our back, so we have to be ready to play each game.
The Fighting Scots took the second of the doubleheader by winning that one 12-6 to split with Lawrence University. They will continue conference play tomorrow against Grinnell College at 3 and 5 p.m. in Grinnell, Iowa. The women's water polo team hosted the Knox Club team for an exhibition match last Wednesday.
Fighting Scots started strong after winning the sprint thanks to the speed of Carolyn Clark. The Scots managed to maintain a great lead courtesy of locking down the Knox offense. This stellar play by Kylie Wernicke would lead to one of many Knox turnovers. Great defense leads to a great offense. Here's Cassidy O'Connell with a rocket to the corner. O'Connell then doubled her score with this catch and shot to extend the Scots' lead. Becca Dabrowski also got in on the action with this deep shot. At the half, the Fighting Scots would lead the Prairie Fire 10-0. Knox would come out in the second half with a strong showing. They moved the ball more fluidly and had several shots. Goalie Brenna Bowers was stellar in goal, including this save to deny number 11 from the Prairie Fire. Though Knox played much better in the second half, they were unable to contain the Scots' offense or get past their defense. Late in the fourth quarter, Monmouth would seal the game. This play frees up Rachel Leafy, who buries her shot past the Knox keeper. The Fighting Scots would take this one by a final of 17-1.
It's really different playing a club team because, obviously we've been used to playing D3 teams and they're a lot more skilled, and I think, club teams are a little bit more laid back. But we did a lot of, better offense. We were running more plays, like our coach said. Unlike, other games, we were waiting and not driving as much, but this game we drove a lot and, opened up everything, and a lot of people got opportunities to shoot.
Women's water polo travels to New London, Connecticut this weekend for their conference tournament. That's it for sports. Here are the rest of the scores from this week. For MCTV this week, I'm Tyler Berneisen.
And I'm David Edge. Make sure to tune in next week for another new edition of MCTV This Week.
And I'm Juliana Graff. You can also watch us on the web by going to monmouthcollege.edu/MCTV. See you next week. My voice.